Have you ever experienced it? That sudden, just deafening silence from a narcissist. It's this uniquely painful kind of weapon, and it is absolutely designed to make you question everything. But what if? What if that silence wasn't a sign of their power at all, but was actually proof of their pain? Okay, let's really dive into this.
We're going to pull back the curtain on this tactic, because once you understand what's really happening behind that wall of silence, it changes everything. It literally flips the entire power dynamic on its head.
So first, we have to talk about the illusion they're trying to create. This is the trap, right? This is the story they absolutely need you to buy into for any of their strategy to work. It's this loaded, heavy quiet that's meant to feel like some kind of calculated power move, like they're sitting on a throne looking down on you. They want you to feel like you've done something terribly wrong, to second-guess yourself, and, to desperately come crawling back seeking their approval. But let me tell you, it is anything but a show of strength.
Now, what's so interesting about this slide is the contrast. On the surface, the whole goal is to make you feel powerless. But the reality, the actual truth of what's happening behind the scenes, is that they are the ones who feel totally exposed and are absolutely panicking because they're losing control.
So, let's flip that script. This is the real heart of it all. We're going to explore the true emotion that's driving them to just withdraw like that. And believe me, it has nothing to do with strength. It has everything to do with fear.
To really get this, we have to understand this concept called narcissistic supply. Just think of it as their fuel. It's your reactions, and it doesn't matter if they're good or bad, that validate their entire existence. When you give them any kind of emotional response, you are handing them a sense of control.
And this just brilliantly illustrates what happens when you start to find your own calm. See, when you stop reacting, you essentially starve them. You cut off their supply line, and that lack of an emotional meal from you sends them into a full-blown panic. Their only defense mechanism left? To retreat into silence.
I absolutely love this metaphor. Their silence isn't some throne they're sitting on. It's a dark cave they're hiding in. They are actively, desperately avoiding the light of a real, honest interaction because their inner world just cannot handle that kind of truth and clarity.
And this right here, this is where the power shifts completely. Their silence, it's born from confusion and desperation because, well, their old tricks have just stopped working. Your silence, on the other hand, comes from a place of real clarity. You've simply realized you don't need to play their game anymore.
So the crucial point to get is this. They don't see your newfound calm as peace. No way. To them, it's an existential threat. It's a giant flashing sign that they've lost all control. And that control is what holds their incredibly fragile self-image together.
And that brings us to their ultimate weakness. See, they feed on intensity. It doesn't matter if you love them or hate them. As long as you are intensely focused on them, they feel real. Your calm indifference, your emotional independence, that, my friend, is their kryptonite.
Just picture this. When you become calm and still, you stop being a sponge for all their chaos. Instead, you become a mirror, and your composure reflects their own inner storm right back at them. And that kind of self-exposure is something they find absolutely, completely unbearable.
Okay, so let's look at what happens next. When they feel that control slipping away completely, they will escalate. But I really want you to reframe these moments. These aren't renewed attacks. They are definitive proof that you are winning.
They'll insult you, they'll say the most outrageous things, and they will try to push every single one of your buttons. And why? Because any reaction, even your pure, unfiltered rage, is better for them than your calm. A reaction, any reaction, plugs them back into the matrix and makes them feel real again.
This desperation so often leads to the smear campaign. And look, I know this is incredibly painful, but it is the ultimate sign of their defeat. It's what happens when they have lost all power over you directly, so their only move left is to try and control how other people see you. It's a total last-ditch effort.
Their main tactic here is psychological projection, and this slide just shows it perfectly. The things they accuse you of, being unstable, being toxic, being manipulative, are almost always a direct confession of their own reality. They are literally painting a portrait of themselves and just signing your name to it.
The whole goal of these escalations is to provoke you, right? To get you to defend yourself, to get you to engage with the drama. Your greatest strength is simply not to play. When you don't react, their lies have no oxygen. Their whole false story just collapses on itself.
And all of this, it leads to their final act. When all the tricks have failed, when the silence and the provocations just don't work anymore, there's only one move left for them to make. And this is where you get to recognize your victory.
They'll begin to avoid you completely. And I really want you to let this sink in. This is not them rejecting you. It's not them moving on in some healthy way. No. This is their final, unspoken surrender. They are avoiding you because they have absolutely no moves left on the board. You see, their avoidance is the ultimate proof of your transformation. What this slide shows is that you've become a strength they can no longer bend and a truth they can no longer twist. Your healing has made you incorruptible to their manipulation, and because of that, well, they have no choice but to retreat.
So if you've been working on cultivating calm in the middle of all this chaos, please know you are not being passive. You're being incredibly powerful. You don't have to become the storm to win this battle.
By simply being still, you expose the shaky, unstable foundation of their entire world. Your stillness isn't just about finding peace for yourself. It is the very force that is shaking their reality to its core.